It's Thanksgiving. You either had that turkey or you're going to. But in the end, you'll be feeling like this. Hello, and welcome to this part of the pond, where it's the bullfrog and the one, the only, Newt.
Face reveal at 100,000 subscribers.
Insert joke here. Sorry, it's Thanksgiving. And here in the pond, we like to give the underrated a little spotlight, if you will. And we think Thanksgiving is one of the most underrated American holidays. Bullfrog, what do you mean? Thanksgiving has the parade. Thanksgiving has the Detroit Lions. And the day after Thanksgiving, you have the Bayou Classic, by which also underrated, and by which it is amazing. I think it's comparable to the Ohio State. However, when you go on the internet or watch your TV show, look at the commercials and count how many have this fear of Christmas and talk a lot about Black Friday, and compare those to how many there are of Thanksgiving. So we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving, and how we celebrate it is through Thanksgiving movies. Yes, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the perfect Thanksgiving movie. And what do we consider a Thanksgiving movie? Well, Thanksgiving is all about giving thanks, remembering what we have, and also looking back at the past and being grateful for what we have now. So sit back and relax and adjust your belt. We are going into this. It happened one night. Released in 1936, again directed by Frank Capra, you may know him as the director for It's a Wonderful Life, gave us this movie. Claudette Colbert, I may be saying your name wrong, sorry, is playing Ellie Andrews, a spoiled heiress who has a problem. She married to a man her dad don't like. So her dad put her in the yacht and said, "You're not seeing land or food until you annul." And she goes, "Screw the annul. I want my man." So she took a dive and she's heading back to New York. And this began in Florida. So she's in for quite the journey. And on her grand adventure, she meets, well, y'all know him. Y'all love him. When I say the name, we're going to pull up both flirting clips. Why? It's Clark Gable.
Hey, baby.
The handsome suave of the past that all the ladies go, "Oh my," and all the men go, "I wish I could be like you, man. Bro, if you could be like Clark Gable, you would be set." And Clark Gable is playing Peter Warren, who lost it. Well, not lost it in the sense of, "I'm going mad." He lost it because he got fired. Poor boy just couldn't get a story. So got fired by the newspaper, and he's just, well, down on his luck. He needs a story. He needs to put his foot back on track. And lo and behold, what falls on his lap, quite literally. And this movie is them going from Florida to New York through buses, cars, hitchhiking, and theft. But she will make it. She will get her man. That's the story. That's the beats. But there's a lot more to this gem. After all, this movie is quite famous for two famous bits. The second one, that's right, the second one is the showing off of the gyrocopter. Or the heligyro. Whatever it was, it did not do good. That thing was supposed to be the revolution of flight. And when you look at that sucker, yeah. This movie also has some Seinfeld bits. I mean, there's a discussion about a proper piggyback. I am not kidding.
I bet there isn't a good piggyback rider in your whole family. I never knew a rich man yet who could piggyback ride.
You're prejudiced.
You show me a good piggybacker, and I'll show you a real human. Now, you take Abraham Lincoln, for instance.
To the famous scene itself, where she and Gable are trying to hitchhike, and Gable gives her what you have to do in order to pick up a car. He gives you different thumbs or waves or any way. The way how she just looks at him. Can you not help but think of Elaine? When you watch that bit, that expression of just, I can see through the bull crap. I know what you're doing. And her sarcastic tone that makes you go, Elaine. It's awesome. And how Gable is sounding like Seinfeld of, this is how you properly do it. This is how it's all done. And then suddenly, how when she gets a car to stop by herself without using her thumbs, Gable's expression at the end is just pure Costanza. You're hearing me talking, and you're saying, Bullfrog, how can this old classic be Seinfeld? You're just talking. Show us. Here you go.
He was frantic. By 6 o'clock, he was having all the rivers dragged.
Say, where'd you learn to dunk? In finishing school?
Oh, now don't you start telling me I shouldn't dunk.
Of course you shouldn't. You don't know how to do it. Dunking's an art. Don't let it soak so long. A dip and flop into your mouth. You gotta hang there too long and get soft and fall off. It's all a matter of timing. Oh, I'll write a book about it.
Tell me, is that not Seinfeld? But this is Seinfeld before Seinfeld. Decades! Wait, this was made in the 1936? Half a century before Seinfeld. That's pretty brilliant. And also, here's a fun fact. Do you want to know what Tommy Boy, Dumb and Dumber, Due Date, and Leap Year, etc., all these movies have in common is that subgenre of travel, and how you begin as one, before the travel you were one person, and at the end you've changed to become someone else, or you gained a friendship, or a rom-com. All that dates to this movie. This is the movie that began it all. That subgenre that we all love. And also, speaking of fun facts, after this movie, I was curious. What is the most romantic bit YouTube can show off immediately? I did scenes, I did quotes, I did moments. And YouTube constantly showed up. The first thing was this, the Love Actually boombox bit. And, well, why am I talking about this? A lot of things have changed. Today, we have phones like this. If back in the day, they had these phones, that movie would have been solved in that movie wouldn't exist 99%. Why? It all could have been solved with these. We have CGI. We have better technology. We're so much better. Heck, rights are better. But let's compare romance. Give me a sec, okay? Let's start with Love Actually, YouTube's #1 recommended in romance. Here we go. So we have that. Now, there's not a good quality audio on YouTube for what I'm about to give from the show. So it may not be exact. Newt, give the audience a favor. Pull up Clark Gable's image. Claudette Colbert's character, Ellie Andrews, asked him what he wants in a girl. And he talks about he wants her to be real. She wants her to be practical. And, this is the rough quote now, he ends with this. I saw an island in the Pacific once. That's where I'd take her. She'd be the kind of girl who would jump into the sea and love it as much as I did. You know, nights with you and the moon and the water all become one. And you feel like you're something that big in all this. It's the only place you'll live, where the stars are so close overhead you can just stir them around. If I ever could find a girl hungry for those things. Put it in the comments. Which was better? The Love Actually bit or the misquote I did from It Happened One Night? I want to know, really, did in the years of advancing so much, the time period where they had so little were more dependent on words? And ladies, please, we really want to know your opinion on. It's not the fact that I'm going to try to decode the female brain from that, because we all know the truth. Men will never understand women, period. It's the sake of, I just want to know. I am who I am. I'm curious. And when I see something like this, I may talk about it, but I really want your opinion. I want to know your words. And this is us celebrating Thanksgiving. And I know this movie may be a little dated and maybe a little cheesy and silly, but yet it's looking at the past. Very few planes. Not that much of a train system. They actually drove mostly in buses. But with Clark Gable's charm and wit, and Claudette Colbert, sorry if I'm mixing your name wrong, her sass, got this movie 5 Academy Awards, and both of them got the actor role. And this movie was filmed in 4 weeks. So, here in the pond, we give you a happy Thanksgiving. And when you break that wishbone, we hope your wish is something that does come true. And until then, it's the Bullfrog and the Newt signing out. Wah-ah.